He knows how to do it, don't get you. Good, okay, then I feel good about that. Stop sawing on his mouth. Thank you. We're just standing here, in as long as he's standing still. And tell me about showing second level. What kind of scores did you get? Okay. Did you get a 75? Why not? Well, isn't that a good question?
Yes. Well, I think I did a very well test one of the days, but one of the judges had learner judges in there, so it's being really hard on everyone.
It's always the judge's fault. Okay, but you did more than one test.
Yeah.
So why did you get 75? Wouldn't you like a 75? So let's work towards a 75. So don't saw on his mouth. What do we have to have in order to get a 75 that you don't have? You think he's that good a mover? Okay. Now I want to make something, I'm going to take just a moment. I want to make something really clear. Because you've got to know a little bit about how judges judge. And this is not a fair sport in one way. This is a sport for dressage horses. This is not a sport for any horse. And just as you're not likely to see a horse like this being trained for ears above the ground. Okay? It's not the right type. All right? A dressage horse is a specific type of horse. It has a certain balance, it has a certain suppleness, it has a certain adjustability, it has a quality of movement, and you have to understand, putting it in a nutshell, that when a judge judges, let's say you're riding a 20-meter circle at the trot. The first score that comes in the judge's mind is a score for the trot. Is this a little quarter horse, with a little bit of a short stride and a little bit of a downhill balance? It's a 6 trot or a 5.5 trot. It's nicely on the bit, it's showing a certain suppleness, but he ain't much of a mover, and he doesn't have much scope, and he doesn't have the right balance. And then, so that, let's say it's a 6 trot, we'll be generous. Does he do a perfect circle? He's got a nice bend, the rhythm, the relaxation, the suppleness, all the contact, all of that is good. Maybe they feel generous and they give it a 6.5. Or they're feeling really good, they have wine for lunch, and they give a 7. Now, Vallegro comes in the ring. Okay? Probably he's a bad example because he wasn't that fabulous as a young horse. But a fabulous, big moving, uphill, elastic, balance, perfectly on the bit. Horse comes in, and so he starts with an 8 or an 8.5. Fabulous mover. Maybe a 9, who knows? And 1 point in the circle he tosses his head. So our 8 comes down to a 7.5. Now, your little quarter horse did a perfect circle and got maybe a 7. Your fabulous horse had one little boo-boo and got a 7.5 or an 8. Okay? It's not a competition of obedience. Obedience is part of it. But part of it is also the quality of moving. And there are horses out there, and it is not fair, but it is this sport, and if you can't handle it, take up another sport that will never get more than a 60 or a 65. On a great day, everything's good, you get a 65. You should be thrilled. Okay? Just like if we took this horse and we put a Western saddle and a whatever bit on it and put it in Western Pleasure, there ain't no way he's going to win a Western Pleasure class, right? He's not the type. It's not the type of horse and the type of movement that a Western Pleasure. Are you talking to her? Okay.
He's got a flat, I don't know what it's called. He's got a strap that's hanging on.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
I'm just glad.
I don't want him to get
He says, look at what happened to me. This is why I cut these straps. Never had a horse almost this big to use up that whole strap. I always cut them. If I had this one, I would cut it at about the 3rd or 4th hole. then you don't have this sort of thing happening. I always wonder who designs bridles. Can you imagine a horse that had that bridle on the last fold?
Oh, it's out again.
See? I always cut those extra long things off. Throat latches never fit. They're either way too small or usually way too long. And again, I wonder if people who design bridles have ever met a horse.
Just in case.
Yeah. So, my question to you is what got me into this. Is this a 7, 5, or an 8 mover? I don't know. I haven't watched them. But Gates, perfect. So you should be able to get a 75 in your test. 75 in your test. Okay? So, I ask people this question, why aren't you getting a 70 or a 75 or an 80 or whatever? Not to embarrass you at all. But let's strive for that. Let's not be content with a 70. Let's think of, when you're thinking about your goals shouldn't just be making what's not good good. Your goal should be making what's good fantastic. So, having said all of that, and undone all of your warm-up by standing here forever, so you're working towards 3rd level?
Yeah, and hopefully junior.
And juniors, how old are you? Remind me. 14, so you're now eligible for juniors. You feel that juniors is a reasonable goal for next year? Okay, good. Let's see what we've got.
Okay, I just want to let you
Yes.
know that I have 2 frozen vertebrae in my back, so that's why it looks like so hunched over.
Okay.
I had physical therapy for it, so if you see it, that's
Okay, was it an injury or just you? Just you.
Well, it could have been.
Yeah.
She's come off about 7 times, so it could have been.
Yeah. So how long have you known that?
just since like a week ago, but this
Oh.
has always been an issue. They just find
Yeah,
it.
but you just now know why. Okay, good. So let's see what we've got. Go do your thing. Whatever your thing happens to be. Go do something. We'll have a little talk when you're ready. Now, let me tell you another little something. I was at the National Youth Championships a few years ago, and on the second day, on Friday, the show started Thursday, right? I was coming in about 6:30 in the morning, and a car drove by me and then slammed on the brakes and backed up. And it was Natalie Lampin, one of our, FEI judges. And she slammed on, she backed up and she said, "Lendon, will you tell those kids to stop wagging their horses' heads?" And I thought, okay, Natalie, whatever you say. Happy to. I've been teaching you to do that for years. Nothing. But let me tell you how moving the head left and right annoys the judges. It annoys the horses, and it annoys me. So, there is a time to counterbend, without question. But you are right now, I don't care if this horse goes straight above the bit, because a little bit I've seen you going, I see that head wagging. I want you to keep him bent a little left, a little left, a little left, all the time. Now you're going to have to really focus on this because it's a habit. I'm trying to remember seeing you ride before. Has this always been a habit, or did this horse teach you?
Well, I rode Odie before. I don't know
Yeah.
if you